Okay, for this worksheet, let's answer the following problems. So let's talk about this, this, and this. Okay, so let's start off with 125t cubed plus 8. It is a sum of two cubes because 125t cubed is a perfect cube and 8 is a perfect cube. To factor a sum of two cubes, we need to find the length and the width of this rectangle, that when we multiply them, the result is 125t cubed plus 8. So it's like we're reversing the process of multiplying. We have the product, now we're looking for the length and the width that represents the product. So when we multiply, we know that the first number 125t cubed comes from this region, and then 8 is from this region. So now we want to know what do we multiply to get 125t cubed. So we know that that's 5t times 5t times 5t. And so one of the factors of 125t cubed is 5t, and we put that in width. And then for 8, we know that 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. So one of the factors of 8 is 2. So let's put that here. And so we also know that 5t times, what do we multiply to 5t to get 125t cubed? So we know that that's going to be 5t times 5t, or 25t squared. And then we figure out what we multiply to 2 to get the 8, and we put it here. And we know that's going to be 2 times 2. So this is in the width, and 2 times 2 will be part of the length. So we'll have here plus 4. Now we just need to figure out what goes in the middle term of the length. And to figure that out, we need to fill up the regions in the rectangle. And we can start with this 2 times 25t squared. Again, 2 times 25t squared is 50t squared. And since we want the other terms to be canceled, because we want only 125t cubed plus 8 to be the final answer, then we know that this region here should have negative 50t squared, so that they will cancel each other. And so now, if this is negative 50t squared, we can figure out the middle term. So what do you multiply to 5t to get negative 50t? We know that it's going to be negative 10t. And then we just need to figure out if this will really give us a product of 125t cubed plus 8. So we complete the table, we complete the box. And so let's do 2 times negative 10t, that's going to be negative 20t. And then 4 times 5t is positive 20t, and they will cancel each other. Therefore, the sum is 125t cubed plus 8. The sum of the terms in the regions is 125t cubed plus 8, which is the area of the box. Therefore, we found the factors of this trinomial, or of this sum of two cubes. And we noticed that one of the factors is a binomial, which is 5t plus 2, and a trinomial, which is 25t squared minus 10t plus 4. Okay, now let's go to the next one. This is going to be x cubed. This is going to be negative 64. Now we figure out what we multiply to get x cubed, and that's going to be x times x squared. And negative 64 could be negative 4 times positive 16. So now we can figure out the rest of the regions of this box. So x squared times negative 4 is negative 4x squared. And because this is negative 4x squared, this is supposed to be positive 4x squared. And because this is positive 4x squared, we look at what we multiply to x to get 4x squared. And we know that that's going to be positive 4x. So positive 4x times x is 4x squared. Okay, and then now we fill this up. Negative 4 times 4x is negative 16x. And then the last box, x times positive 16 is positive 16x, and they cancel each other. Therefore, the product is x cubed minus 64. So we know the factors of x cubed minus 64 now, the length and the width of the rectangle. So the factors are, the binomial factor is x minus 4, and the trinomial factor is x squared plus 4x plus 16. Okay, now the 64x to the 6th minus 1. How do we factor it? We can think of this as similar to these two problems that we just solved. So we're going to put here 64x to the 6th and here negative 1. And then we think of what we multiply to get 64x to the 6th, and that's going to be 4x squared. So we know 4x squared times 4x squared times 4x squared gives us 64x to the 6th. So 4x squared goes here, and what do we multiply the 4x squared to get 64x to the 6th? It's going to be this, which is 16x to the 4th. And then what do we multiply to negative 1 by itself 3 times to get negative 1 as the product? That's going to be negative 1 times positive 1. So now we'll try to figure out the middle term. So first we multiply 16x to the 4th by negative 1, and that's going to be negative 16x to the 4th. Now we should know that this here should be the opposite, 16x to the 4th. So now we think, what do I multiply to 4x squared to get 16x to the 4th? And that's going to be 4x squared. And it has to be positive. And then let's fill up all the regions here. We know that negative 1 times 4x squared is negative 4x squared. And 4x squared times 1 is positive 4x squared. So they cancel. Therefore, the product is 64x to the 6th minus 1. And therefore, we can now write the factors. The factors are the length and the width of the rectangle. So the width is 4x squared minus 1. And the length is 16x to the 4th plus 4x squared plus 1. We're done factoring. Oh, not yet. We're not done factoring it because 4x squared minus 1 is a perfect square. No, it's a difference of two squares. Each is a perfect square. Each term is a perfect square. So now we can factor. We can still factor that. We're going to have here 2x plus 1 and 2x minus 1. And then we'll have here